The next thing we have herbs. Eric, these are herbs and they have some oil on them.
Herbs are probably the most simple of all incenses. You can go from just one particular, for example, going back to the frankincense. It's considered an herbal product. It's organic, it comes from nature. And again, as Frank said, all you would need is a little bit. With herbs, even in combination, you're using them for the different properties that they collectively can provide. One of the healing incenses I do is primarily rosemary and juniper berries.
And there are juniper berries in this mixture, along with some chunks of wood and herb and roots and some other good stuff. And this kind of an incense is really good for healing, because you're trying to use the energy of the herbs in the work that you're doing.
Some of these mixtures can get a little tricky at times, because some of the herbs that we've come to know and use, you have to be careful of, because some of them can be toxic when they're burning, and the smoke can be toxic. Read different books on them, study up on stuff. Just don't go grab a bunch of loose herbs somewhere and start setting things on fire, because you can cause yourself some problems.
And this is where common sense comes in? This particular incense is something that's called a self-lighting incense. It burns by itself and it doesn't need charcoal.
This was another mixture we found several years ago. The nice thing about this is you can take a small measure and heap it on. Actually, that bowl is way too big for it. If you just were to take, this is hard to do on camera because we've got different angles.
And we're working backwards.
If you took a little bit of this and set it on the plate like that, the small amount, try and get you in the camera, here you go. And then you light this, and this will burn down to nothing, just a plain ash. If you were to take the whole bowl and light this, you'd clear the building. Yeah. Okay, you really don't need much of this. And it's nice because you don't need to carry charcoal with you, because carrying charcoal can be a tricky thing if you're going to campsites, because if that picks up any moisture, you're going to be striking an awful lot of matches trying to get your incense to work.
The one caution about using herbs, resins, self-lighting incenses, even oil mixtures, with or without charcoals, especially in a small confined space, turn off the smoke detector.
Oh yeah.
They can be very smoky, and you only need a little bit. A little bit does go a long way.
Another common sense thing, guys, if you're going to do this, you don't want to be in an airtight type space, okay? Lighting it off in your car with the windows rolled up may not be the smartest thing that you ever did in your life. Okay, crack the windows, have some open air, have some ventilation. I mean, it's nice to have the fragrances and the scents you like, but you need to breathe, guys.
And from a medical standpoint, since I'm about to talk about a resin called brejazino, which actually looks like a powder, it's Mexican. There are a number of resins that actually can cause some pretty strong reactions in folks. Pine is pinyon resin or pine needles. That kind of a resin can produce an allergic reaction, and we came really close to hospitalizing Robin Wood a few years ago at Craftwise because somebody unwittingly lit a bowl of pinyon resin, and Robin is highly allergic to pinyon and highly allergic to pine. So she was overcome with the smoke, and we had to carry her outside. It was a real good learning experience for a lot of people. Be very careful. Make sure you know what's in your incenses, because you don't know what people are allergic to. We always try to ask people, what are you allergic to? Have you allergies? Do you have any problems or any sensitivities to any kind of plant materials? Because if you have sensitivities to them by eating them or touching them, you're going to have sensitivities to them by burning them.
The basic the basic watchword with that is be aware of who you're with and what your surroundings are. Take a little time to get to know the folks you're working with, because you unwittingly could light something in your cauldron that'll send somebody to the hospital if they're allergic to it. Just use a little common sense.
Now, one of the things that is nice and easy about incense is that they come in sticks. They're real easy to use. Okay, we've been using these since the 60s, and probably before that. I only remember back that far. But these are very easy to use. You light them very simply in a candle. You let the tip get red, and then once it gets red and it starts to burn down a little bit, you wave it out, and now you have incense. They also come in, there's also a nice little preparation called cones, those little cone things. And they work really, really well. They're very effective, as you can see from the smoke in front of me. They set off a lot of smoke, and they all smell good. There's a lot of good formulations. And oh, by the way, my husband gave me this beautiful incense holder. And I know that both of you make these for various purposes. I know that one of the things that Frank makes is something called Bug Away, which we use camping. And it's real pertinent to tonight's topic because it keeps the bugs away. And it has all kinds of crazy stuff in it, citronella and some other wonderful herbs to try to keep the bugs away from you.
When we do the bug away incense, as you call it, there is a stick you can get. They're called punks. You get larger ones that are probably about 24 inches. About and maybe 1/8 of an inch thick. I mean, these are big. They're almost cigarette size. And when time you get done treating those with oil and packing them up, usually you can take one out and leave it in the area and the bugs will take off because they've got so much oil in them due to their size. Absolutely. And be careful with those too, because again, you still have a flammable object. With candles and incense, double protected. We found out the hard way one year. We had our bus up, we have a full-size school bus we had up at Brushwood. We were camping. And we had left one small candle up on the dash of the bus in a glass container, and we thought we'd be fine. Well, evidently the wick was off center in the candle. We had a meltdown of the candle. It cracked out. We had flaming wax drip down and set some of the plastic on the bus on fire. And lucky enough, we all woke up to pitch black on the bus, so full of smoke you couldn't see where you were going.
Not me. I work nights. I slept through most of it.
I was lucky enough not to be there.
One of the things we're going to do now to kind of close out our little ritual segment is we're going to light some candles. What we'd like to ask all of you at home to do is concentrate on sending messages and positive energy for safety and security and health and well-being to everybody who's going to be traveling on the roads this summer, whether you're going to festivals or you're just going on vacation, and people who are going to be at festivals, we'd like them all to be safe and healthy. So if both of you will pick those up, and I'm going to ask the two of you to light them, probably from the north candle and the south candle.
Switch right there.
Pick a candle. Lady, we ask that all remain safe traveling this summer. It's an important season. A lot of things are going to happen this summer. A lot of information is going to be passed. We ask that people are well and healthy and able to receive it. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
Please stay with us. We're going back to the table in a few moments, and we're going to be talking about some of those festivals that we've been discussing burning incense at. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly.